David, having established Jerusalem as Israel's political and religious hub, wished to construct a magnificent temple to honor God. However, God informed David that it would be his son, Solomon, who would undertake this holy task. Once Solomon ascended to the throne, he embarked on this monumental project, enlisting skilled laborers and artisans from across the region. After 7 years of meticulous construction, the temple was completed, becoming the central place of worship for the Israelites. For several centuries, the temple stood as the primary religious center. However, its history was marred by periods of neglect and desecration, especially under kings who turned to idolatry and foreign alliances. Notable exceptions were the reigns of Hezekiah and Josiah, who implemented significant religious reforms to restore the temple's sanctity and renew the people's commitment to God. The ancient Near East was a region of constant political turmoil, with various empires vying for dominance. The northern kingdom of Israel fell to the Assyrians in 722 BCE, leaving Judah and Jerusalem vulnerable. In 586 BCE, the Babylonian king Nebuchadnezzar II laid siege to Jerusalem. After a prolonged and harrowing siege, the Babylonians breached the city's walls, looted the temple, and set it ablaze. The destruction of Solomon's temple was a devastating blow to the Jewish people, symbolizing the loss of their spiritual center and their connection to God. The Babylonians exiled many inhabitants, including the elite and skilled craftsmen, to Babylon, marking the beginning of the Babylonian exile. During this time, two key prophets emerged, Daniel and Ezekiel. Daniel, known for his unwavering faith and prophetic visions, served in the Babylonian court. His interpretations of dreams and his own visions provided hope and guidance to the exiled Jewish community. Ezekiel, a priest-turned-prophet, was exiled to Babylon with his fellow Jews. He delivered messages of warning, judgment, and ultimately, hope for the future restoration of Israel and the temple. His vivid visions, such as the Valley of Dry Bones and the New Temple, reinforced the promise of renewal and redemption. Hope for the Jewish people began to emerge when the Persian Empire, led by King Cyrus the Great, conquered Babylon in 539 BCE. Recognizing the struggles of the exiled Jews, Cyrus issued a decree allowing them to return to Jerusalem and rebuild their beloved temple. This pivotal moment is captured in the biblical books of Ezra and Nehemiah. Under the leadership of Zerubbabel, a descendant of King David, and Jeshua the high priest, the first group of Jewish exiles made their way back to Jerusalem. Their initial efforts focused on laying the foundation of the Second Temple and rebuilding the altar, enabling them to restore sacrificial worship. However, their work faced opposition from neighboring groups, causing delays and frustration. Prophets Haggai and Zechariah played crucial roles during this time, encouraging the people to persevere in their efforts. Haggai reminded the people of God's promise and the importance of rebuilding the temple, while Zechariah provided visions of hope and future glory for Jerusalem. Finally, in 516 BCE, after years of dedication and hard work, the Second Temple was completed, marking a significant moment of renewal and restoration for the Jewish people. This event is celebrated as the fulfillment of God's promise to bring his people back and reestablish their place of worship. The Second Temple period continued, experiencing various phases of support and neglect, particularly during the conquest by the Greek and later the Roman empires. However, it remained a central place of worship and cultural identity for the Jewish community. Significant changes came during the reign of King Herod the Great, who ruled Judea from 37 to 4 BCE. Herod embarked on an ambitious renovation project to expand and enhance the Second Temple, aiming to restore its former glory and grandeur. His efforts included enlarging the Temple Mount, constructing new courts, and adorning the temple with magnificent architecture and decorations. Herod's renovations were completed shortly before his death, leaving behind a legacy of architectural splendor that continued to serve as the religious and cultural heart of the Jewish people. The temple stood as a testament to the enduring faith and resilience of the Jewish community through centuries of challenges and changes. God's presence was manifested to his people through the Holy Temple and the guidance of prophets, while his will was executed through the kings. However, when the people turned away from God and the kings acted according to their own desires, the land was devastated and the temple was destroyed. In their repentance and renewed faith, the people seek God's presence, and in response, God provided hope and a path to restoration. They rebuilt the temple as a place of worship, symbolizing their return to holiness and a renewed connection with God, reaffirming His enduring promise to dwell among them.